Good evening, visitors, and welcome to the Australian War Memorial's last post ceremony. My name is Nathan Boyd, and joining us today from the Royal Australian Navy is Lieutenant Loretta Binder. We welcome the veterans who have served, those that are still serving, and the families that love and support them. We acknowledge the members of RSL Services Clubs Association, RSL Victoria, and RSL Queensland, who are watching the broadcast of this ceremony across Australia. During this evening's ceremony, wreaths will be laid at the base of the Pool of Reflection by visitors to the memorial and students on behalf of Heights College, North Rockhampton, Queensland. If you're able, please stand and join in singing the National Anthem. If you're able, please be seated. The Australian War Memorial was a vision of Charles Bean, Australia's First World War official historian. Bean landed with the Australian troops on Gallipoli and stayed with them at the front through to the end of the war. The idea of this national memorial and museum came to him at Pozières, France, in the depths of the bloody fighting of 1916. Bean's idea was that this would be a place where family and friends could mourn loved ones buried in faraway places. It would also be a place that could help all Australians understand what these men and women had endured and what they had done for us. Bean's vision, to which we remain true, is best expressed as inscribed in the entrance of the memorial's galleries. Here is their spirit, in the heart of the land they loved. And here we guard the record which they themselves made. Tonight, we'll read the story behind just one of those on the Roll of Honour, which lists the names of more than 102,000 men and women who gave their lives for us in war and in operation for more than a century. But first, we present a lament, Flowers of the Forest. Wreaths of floral tributes will now be laid by the base of the Pool of Reflection.
Today, we remember and pay tribute to Private Harold Edwin Trembath. Harold Trembath was born in Daylesford, Victoria in 1896, one of 3 children born to Edward and Florence Trembath. His father served as a councillor in Daylesford and later as the town's mayor. Harold was educated at Daylesford State Technical School and later at Ballarat College. He spent 2 years in the Daylesford Cadets and was working as a clerk at the State Savings Bank in Melbourne at the outbreak of the First World War. Harold Trembath enlisted in the Australian Imperial Force on the 12th of February 1916. He was assigned to the 22nd Battalion and embarked from Melbourne on board the troop ship Nestor on the 2nd of October. Trembath arrived at Plymouth, England on 16th of November. While training in England, he suffered a burst appendix and was deemed unfit for service by a medical board. He worked in the Pay Corps in England during his recovery and was later deemed fit for active service. On the day Trembath left England, he wrote to his father, "I feel that only superiority in numbers will win. I feel it now more than ever that it is my duty to go and I am going to play the game." In May 1918, he joined the 22nd Battalion in northern France and served in the front lines, where he was gassed, suffering temporary blindness and burns to most of his body. Having recovered from these injuries in August 1918, Trembath found himself part of the preparations to capture the strategic township of Peron and Mont St. Quentin. Official war historian Charles Bean described the task ahead as the most formidable ever faced by Australian infantry. On the 31st of August, the 2nd Division crossed the Somme River and approached Mont St. Quentin before dawn. Attacking from the northwest, the troops took Mont St. Quentin by 7 a.m. and Peron by 8:20 a.m. the following day. This spectacular victory came at a cost of 3,000 casualties, one of whom was Private Harold Trembath. He was killed by a bursting shell while helping carry a wounded officer to the dressing station. His commanding officer wrote to his bereaved family, "He was a splendid soldier and died like a true Australian, and every one of us mourns his loss. Death was instantaneous. Please accept the sympathies of the officers and men of C Company 22nd Battalion in your bereavement for a son who died nobly assisting a wounded comrade." Trembath was buried at Peron Communal Cemetery Extension. He was 22 years old. His name is listed on the Roll of Honour on my right among almost 62,000 Australians who died while serving in the First World War. His photograph is displayed today beside the pool of reflection. This is but one of many stories of service and sacrifice told here at the Australian War Memorial. We now remember Private Harold Edwin Trembath, who gave his life for us, for our freedoms, and in the hope of a better world.
Please stand for the reading of the ode and the sounding of the last post.
They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them.
We will remember them.
lest we forget.
Lest we forget. We leave you this evening with the words of the memorial's founder, Charles Bean. Many a man lying out there at Poziere or in the low scrubber Gallipoli, with his poor, tired senses barely working through the fever of his brain, has thought in his last moments, well, it's over. But in Australia, they will be proud for this. Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, that concludes the last post ceremony. On behalf of the Director and staff, thank you for visiting the Australian War Memorial today and for your continued support of the Memorials Development Project. We wish you all a very pleasant evening.